Okay, here we go. Welcome to the first Q&A. So, if you guys are tuned in, the other day I put on my Instagram a little ask me a question thing. Just looking to start a new segment so I can start uploading more often. Trying to be more consistent on that. And I only had like a few questions, only a few people really do fuck with me. I do have a small circle, not too many people really either care or they just, I guess didn't have time. I don't know. I don't really care myself, but if I put it up there in case anyone does have questions, and I got a few that I got to get to. So I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. Just gonna go about, the questions that I was asked, and I'm gonna start off with the first one. The first one, they're all anonymous. I'm not gonna call out anybody on their names or what they asked me. But the first one was, if I could talk to my 18-year-old self, what advice would I give myself? And I had to sit back and I had to think about that one for a second, because I want to think that, okay, right now, what's the best lesson that I've learned to this point in my life? Which is what I would tell myself, my younger self. Now, I think that would be, simply don't be scared to fail. Don't be scared to try. And I say that because you have to be a student of life in order to, get to where you want to get to and learn if something's for you or not. So the advice that I'd give my 18-year-old self, young, dumb, crazy man that I was, I'd simply just say, yeah, don't be scared to fail and be willing to learn, be willing to ask questions and look or seek help, I'd say. And I guess don't shy away from challenge. Those simple things right there. Not only just to my 18-year-old self, but I feel like anybody in this day and age who's looking for, I guess, purpose, start there, honestly. Many different things I consider as far as purpose to myself stem from, what I've learned from things that I like, things I don't like, jobs, relationships, and they've all turned me into the man that I am right now. So that's what I'd say. Be willing to learn from all of your failures, but also be willing to seek out new challenges and seek help. That's simple advice that I'd give my 18-year-old self if I had to. Nothing crazy, because that also can lead into, trying new things as far as reading, writing, practicing all these things that you're weak in. And even starting to lift, because I didn't start lifting until I was going on 20. So it's only been a couple years now, but anyhow, that's the advice I give myself. Now, this other one, I really love this question that I was given. So this one was, how do you prevent yourself from fearing the future? Now, it just depends on where you're at in life. Now, if you're content with yourself as far as knowing that what you're doing is right and knowing that you're setting yourself up for the future, for a better future, then by all means, just trust the process. That's all it is you just have to trust the process and really enjoy it as well. So as long as you're setting yourself up to one day reach a breaking point to achieve something that you've never thought possible, just keep doing what you're doing. I'm beginning of the year, the book that I'm listening to again is Atomic Habits, because I feel like it's an annual read. You should always dive back into that book. It's phenomenal. But it simply is just like James Clear talks about it, and he's saying like it's not so much about the goals that don't work, it's about the systems that fail you to get you to where you go. So if you have a good system as far as a good routine, you're doing the right things, you're not fucking about, and you're trying your hardest in your day-to-day life, then there's nothing to really fear. The only thing you have to fear is today, because today is the only thing that you can control. And one example that you can use comes straight from Kung Fu Panda, Master Oogway. And he was just like, yesterday, that was the past. You can't trip on that. The future is tomorrow, or I forget how the saying goes, but the one thing that I know that stood out that he said was, and today is a gift. That's why it's called the present. So why worry about something that's completely out of your control? When the anxiety starts to build up and you start to wonder, I guess, how to get back to neutral and how to figure that out, simply think about two things that you can control. One, you can control your attitude, and how, you can control how you feel in that current moment. Take those deep breaths like I talked about in my first video. That inhale through the nose, that extra sniff, let it out, and then get back to neutral. Realize, okay, those problems are external. I can't control those ones. And then what's the other thing that I can control? Is how much effort I give into what I'm doing at the current moment. So whether it's like a financial issue, whether it's an issue with a relationship, studies, okay, what can I do right now and give my complete everything to in order to set myself up to succeed, right? It's that simple. So rather than fearing the future, fear not taking full advantage of what you can control in this present moment, because that's the big thing. Those small actions that you take will compound into something greater than yourself, something that you've never would have imagined possible. So that's why I say take advantage of what you can control, because if you can control those things and you can put in the work right now, they will come back to you and they will pay off. So don't fear tomorrow, because today is the future. Fear today, because today is the future. What you do today will impact you later on in life. And the best example that I can use is I thank my younger self for starting off somewhere. I started somewhere, and where I started was going to the gym. That was the first part of me that started wanting more for myself. So I started going to the gym, and I look back at myself and I'm just thankful that I stayed consistent, because that allowed me to, change the aspect of my life and allowed me to realize, okay, with a little bit of consistency and a little bit of raw action, and today I will provide myself a future worth being proud of. So don't fear tomorrow, fear today, because today is the future. Now, just keep doing what you're doing. You're doing great. You're doing better than you think you are. A good friend of mine says that a lot. You're doing better than you think you are. If you don't got you, then I'm sorry, nobody's got you. Put your head down and get back to work. First video is going up tomorrow, Monday. I'm recording this Sunday night before bed. Like I said in my other video, Monday's favorite day of the week. Get to restart, get back to it, and get to try again and try and become a better version of myself than I was last week. So I hope you guys have a successful week. I'll check back in with you guys on Friday with another video. Tune in for those. And after Friday's video, I'll have another Q&A if you have any questions on it. If you enjoyed this video, by all means, feel free to ask. With that being said, thank you for joining me. I'll catch you guys next week.